that same very, very Trumpy county official in Long Island, New York, has now yanked all public notices from Newsday, from the paper of record in Long Island, and instead has started putting public notices instead in a right-wing New York City tabloid.
The elimination of an independent media is a crucial component to any country's descent into fascism. So no wonder this is where Trump and MAGA world are focused now.
Even the enemy, because they are the enemy, what they've said, even that enemy too, and they're really the enemy. They're the enemy of the people, the press. They said one thing about me that I consider a great compliment. They said, this guy is the most consistent person we've ever seen.
The difference between a democracy and a dictatorship is our free press. It is what gives citizens information that they can use to protest, to vote, to call upon resignations. And without that, it's really just about what the government wants people to know. And Trump and his MAGA allies, they know this very well, and they've been going after the media with some success because a lot of these medias are owned by large corporations who are more worried about their stock price than whether or not they're being journalistically accurate, such as ABC, who had their lead anchor apologize and pay off a settlement to Trump, despite the fact that they had actually been fighting in court for years, that case. But as soon as he gets elected, they decide to settle. It happened with Meta too, which is no surprise. Zuckerberg attending the inauguration and deciding not to fact check. He's basically in the hands of Donald Trump also. But then we also have smaller ways that they're going after the press, such as trying to take away the funding from NPR. It's a big topic on X by Elon Musk. He's so offended by the NPR only the facts reporting, because now it's not really about the facts. It's about what Trump wants us to hear, and evidently what Elon Musk wants us to hear, because since he's bought the presidency, it's really about what he wants us to hear.
Local laws all over the country require the publication of public notices in the paper of record. So this is notices about upcoming public hearings, about proposed laws, real estate transactions, stuff like that. We don't really have classified ads the way we used to in newspapers, but there's still a bunch of fine print notices in major papers. And those are often public notices that are required by law in the local paper of record. And those public notices are a considerable source of income for local newspapers. So on Long Island, in Nassau County, Long Island, the county government there is headed up by an elected county executive. And in Nassau County, the county executive is a Trump guy. So much so that, perhaps feeling a little jealous that Trump has his Oath Keepers and his Proud Boys, pro-Trump paramilitary militias, this county executive on Long Island has also formed his own semi-official paramilitary force of military and law enforcement veterans that he says he wants to be able to call up on his own orders to supplement official law enforcement. Yeah, if that puts a little shiver in your quiver, it's because you're paying attention. But that same very, very Trumpy county official in Long Island, New York, has now yanked all public notices from Newsday, from the paper of record in Long Island, and instead has started putting public notices instead in a right-wing New York City tabloid that's not even based in Long Island. Newsday is suing to get the public notices back.
Then you have the example of Newsday, where they're trying to take away the money, the public notices out in Long Island. This is how this small paper makes money, is by public notices and the government official trying to take that away. So it becomes even more important to have independent media like MeidasTouch, because there is no revenue sources that they can try to take away. NPR has government money. They can take that away, and NPR goes away for the most part, unless some private billionaire steps in. And same with the public notices with these small papers like Newsday in Long Island. But when you have MeidasTouch, who has no outside investors, and it really is just about, are people watching the videos? Are they subscribing for free on YouTube? That's how it's sustainable. And Trump knows this and is going after Elon Musk, Ben Meiselas, talked about this in one of his Midas Plus Substack articles about specifically how they've been sued by Trump and his allies and how they were called out in the pleading regarding the hush money trial. Trump and his allies know that MeidasTouch is getting directly to the people, and they are very hard, if not impossible, to stop because there is no outside money. There is no Disney that's afraid for their stockholders. There is no government funding that they receive. It is very hard to stop a direct conversation between Meidas and the people, and Trump and his allies realize that really to get control of the people, to lie as you want to lie, to give the theories, lie to the people and say their grocery prices have nothing to do with corporate greed and CEOs who are not willing to give a living wage to their employees. But no, it's about the hardworking immigrants. You continue to make those lies, and you can do it if there's no press stopping you. This is why MeidasTouch and these independent networks are so important, and also why it's so important for all of us to stay informed. The news can be really difficult to watch these days. There's a lot of really awful things that Trump is doing. But if we stop paying attention to the news, we've done the work for him, because you don't need a media company to inform people. You didn't close that media company down if people are just voluntarily putting their heads in their sand and not paying attention. So our responsibility as a former journalist before I became a lawyer, I feel like my responsibility is to inform people, and also as a citizen to stay informed, because staying informed is exactly what they don't want. That's why they go after the media companies. It's why they're trying to go after the independent media.
This is what they call the Viktor Orban playbook for using the power of government to eliminate independent, credible, professional journalism. Using the power of government to hurt journalism as much as possible, to weaken it as much as possible, to try to drive independent, capable, professional media out of business and into ruin so that it goes away. And the only thing that's left is, for lack of a better term, state TV.
But staying informed, being informed is exactly how you stop the country from continuing to go down the road to fascism. It's very easy to do. Stop the people from paying attention, and you can do whatever you want. And that's what Trump would love, for us to stop talking and for people to stop listening. So our act of democracy today on MeidasTouch is to keep talking, and the act of democracy as a citizen is to keep listening.
If they can succeed in restructuring defamation and libel law in this country, which they are trying to do, it will result in a restructured legal environment where news organizations really can't win. And yeah, you can have the government come after them, but you can also have the president's allies in private life come after them in ways that are designed to financially weaken, cripple, and ultimately shut down or cause to be sold the oppositional independent media in this country. We have a free, oppositional, independent, aggressive, often annoying and pushy press in this country, which you may not always like. But it is how we learn what the government is doing. And it's the main reason why the government has to answer questions about what they're doing. Support for professional, independent, and even oppositional media has never been more important. We are seeing a wall-to-wall strategy start to gear up to try to blow up the press and effectively just have state TV from here on out. It is a concerted effort.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.